Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Estonian Football Podcast. We are delighted to be joined by former Levadia and Paide head coach Ivan Stojkovic. Thanks for joining us, Ivan. How are you doing today?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
No problem. We'll get immediately stuck in with your career with Levadia, where you started with the under 21s.
Yeah.
How did the opportunity come about?
Well, I was still working in Serbia. It was 2021, and I was leaving my club at that time where I worked, and through Marko Savic, of course, I met him, and we started to communicate. We started to speak a lot about football. We understood quickly that we share very similar ideas and so on, so on. And then at one point, he told me that there is opportunity in Levadia under 21. There was a vacancy in head coaching position. He asked me, "Are you interested to joining us?" I agreed very quickly because I wanted to make some change. So I decided to go there. So it was through Marco basically, and then everything followed up.
How did you find the standard of Liga when you joined? Was it like a shock to what you'd been currently doing?
Uh, I would not call it a shock, but it was a definitely lower quality than I was used to in Serbia. But I didn't also expect it to be on the same level. But quickly I understood that, I mean, when I left Levante under 21, we were in first place in SC Liga, I think. But okay, we had a really good team. We created a really good team there. But realized that if you are prepared well physically and tactically, you can do a really good job. And I think you could see after that also with Vovo Vasiljev with Nome United when they were like crashing SC Liga with good preparation. So I think that difference, unfortunately, between Premium League and SC Liga is unbelievably big. This gap is so big, and you can see it by the teams who are coming in from SC Liga and Premium League. They are really struggling. So I think I would not call it a shock. I was prepared for that, but I was a little bit surprised, yeah, because I didn't expect it in some areas to be like that low standard, I would say.
Do you think it helps having under 21 teams actually competing in adult football in Estonia helps? Or do you feel like if you're playing youth football, you should play in a youth league?
I think it helps a lot because unfortunately, even here in Serbia and in some other countries, um, players start to lose themselves between in this transfer between under 19 and the senior football. I think under 21s and you overall these B teams are really good idea, and I think it's a really good transformation between the youth football and adult football because it can be a really big step between playing in under 19 and going immediately trying to play a premium league. I think under 19 S Liga, Premium Liga is a really good like steps, and I think it helps the young players a lot because it gives them time to get used to the adult football, what all adult football brings, because it's not the same, just playing with a under 19 player and playing against adult men is totally different. So I think it's something that is really good, and I think I mean, in Spain, they are doing it really long time. They have their B teams. Every team have their B team, and I think there is definitely a reason for that. So I think it's a really good idea.
Um, was there a specific moment when you thought, no, actually, let me rephrase that. Was there a goal to go up and coach the first team, or was you just kind of there as I'm here for now and then see what happens?
I enjoy working with the young players, but since I started coaching, my goal was to coach senior teams because I became a coach because of love for the football and because of tactics. I like tactics a lot. I like trying different strategies. I like trying out playing an opponent. Like Pep Guardiola said, my job makes sense when I realize how to beat an opponent, and this is something that I and guided by because since I was a young guy, I fell in love with tactics, with strategies. I was playing a football manager a lot when I was a kid. It was something that always attracted me. So since I started coaching, I knew that I would like to be a head coach of senior team. But I also know that maybe in 15, 20 years, I will go down and coach youth teams because it's like I said, I like working with young players because my experience showed me that it's much easier to get into the heads of young player than an older player.
This is going to be my next question. Because you're still in your 30s, is it sometimes harder to coach a senior team because you're like of a similar age, or is it sometimes easier?
I never had that problem. I believe only in one authority. It's authority of knowledge. I think if you know what you are doing, people will follow you. If you don't know what you are doing, you can have 30, 35, 60. It will not matter. So I think, like every coach, I have my pluses and minuses, but I want to believe for myself that I have a clear idea how I want to play and that I have a clear instructions for the team and for every player. And I think when the players see that, they they follow the idea. So I think age doesn't matter. It matters what you believe, how deeply you believe, how deeply you know your style of play, and how you can transfer it to the players. I think that authority of knowledge is the only thing that matters, not the age.
Uh, it's there. I can't say. Did you know you were going to replace Savic and Vashilev straight away, or was it kind of a surprise to you?
No, it was not a surprise because Marco called me and said that he is leaving and then he will suggest me as the next head coach. But no, in the beginning it was not planned. It was not the idea. It was just the idea. Okay, I'm here be under 21 coach because it was supposed to be at least 1 year that I'm there as the under 21 head coach, and then we'll see. But it was not like, okay, you're coming here to replace me because I think it's also not fair to think like that because he's my friend, he's my countryman, and now I'm coming there and I'm waiting for him to be back. No, no, no. Of course not. I enjoyed my time there. I really am. I really did. Uh, and when I turned back, like this under 21 in Levadia was one of the best periods in my short short career, but I really enjoyed these 6 months working, like I said, working with young players with some really big talents like Kristal, Danke Lutz, Murad Velijev was there, Oscar Pihela. So it was really really in time that I really enjoyed.
Was you because when you took over as Levadia's senior team, you gave Crystal his debut at 14 years old. Was that always going to happen?
Since I saw him first time, I knew that this guy needs to start playing in a senior level as soon as possible. Uh, I don't know if you watched the game against Israel, what he was doing when he came in. He is a miracle of a player. Like I think he's one of the reasons why we are Paide struggling a lot this season because they don't have that X factor, which they had last season in him. Uh, he is the by far the most talented player in Estonia that I saw. So I think it was not a surprise, and I knew that immediately as I became a head coach that Patrick need to make the debut as soon as possible for the first team.
Was it also your decision to bring him to Paide? I think it raised a few eyebrows that he went from Levadia to Paide as opposed to going straight abroad, or was that part of your decision?
Like always, when we were bringing in players in Paide, I was not the first one who was questioned. I think Marco Crystal, he came to us and said that Patrick is a free player that contract with Levadia expired, but he didn't spoke with me first. He spoke with the club. And then Gert comes asked me like, "What you think?" And I said, "If there is a chance, we need to bring him in. If he's a free player and so on." I know that Levadia was mad at us and so on, but Paide is a club who never does anything, below the waist. We are doing the things right, and he was free player. Father asked us, "Would you be interested?" Because Patrick wanted to come here to work with me again, and I said that if there is a chance to bring him in, we need to do it because, like I said, his talent is a very rare thing.
Do you think he can get game time for the seniors in Germany next year, or do you still think it's like a bit because he was in Estonia, like without disrespect, that do you still think he needs that bit more development?
I was hoping that actually after Paide he will go to play immediately some senior football, maybe in some lower level. But he already had 1 year at senior level, and now he again went to the youth team. But okay, it was his decision, and I kind of understand it from a one point. But FC Köln, as I understood, as I saw, they went again to Bundesliga. So I'm not sure that if he will get minutes in the first team, but I think if he get again minutes at least for the second team, or maybe they send him on loan somewhere to play in a third liga or somewhere, it's still a good step for him. I think it's not realistic to think that he will be like some important part in Bundesliga team, but I'm also sure that FC Köln, they're a serious club, and I think they know why they took him and that they have a clear plan with him. That's for sure.
Yeah. If we move back to Levadia, did you feel any pressure when you took over the first team?
I cannot say that I felt. I think the pressure that you feel in Estonia and comparing to other countries is not measurable. So I no, I knew what is expected in Levadia. Like I said, from this perspective, I'm very grateful for that period because I was 33 at that time, and I immediately understood how it is to going into every game knowing that 0-0 is a very bad result for you, that you need to win every game. So I think Levadia is no difference than other big clubs in any country. You need to win, that's it. And that, of course, there is a pressure, but there is a pressure also that I put on myself a lot. In Paide, I didn't have any pressure basically because I had a really good owner and a really good club to work in, but I put a lot of pressure on myself because I expect a lot from myself, and then this pressure you need to try to handle it somehow. Like I said, Levadia and Flora, nobody need to tell you what are the expectations when you go into the dressing room. Whether you are a player, coach, or whatever, you need to win, and it's fair. They expect trophies, and it's normal.
Do you feel like you should have had a bit more time there though?
Yeah, of course I do, but the of course I do, because I don't think it's normal that you expect in 2 months that coach makes such a big change. Can you imagine now, like Paide brought Vasiljev and after 2 months they sack him? They will never do it because they know how the process work. But so much things were wrong at that time. Club structure was changing. There were a lot of things happening, so I was not surprised in a way. But also, of course, I think I even said in some interview before, because Flora game was one of the last games that I had before that game, I said that you need to give coach time. It's not an alibi, it's just how things work. Because if you even think, in my opinion, if you see my time in Paide, I think the best football we played after 1 year that I had, like last summer and until the end of the season, we had a really high progression because coach needs some time. He needs at least two transfer periods to create team by his own desires. I basically didn't had any transfer periods there, but I think, like I said, club structure was changing, and it was clear that things will change from the bottom to the, and it's fine. Like I said, every guy, people who came in, they always want their own people, which is normal. So it's it's in the past now, but to answer your questions very shortly, yeah, of course, I think that I needed more time. Not just me, every coach.
Uh, how was the experience of managing in European competitions?
unbelievably valuable. Going to meet different cultures, different styles of play. Unfortunately, we never had opportunity to go in some place nice, but we went to Faroe Islands, Iceland, Wales. A lot of rain, no sun, and mm, I was hoping that maybe we can go to Malta or somewhere but unfortunately no. But it was really valuable because uh, you know, uh, playing knockout games, preparing for the second legs, playing against very tough opponents. Like a lot of people are underestimating Stjarnan, but they are really good team, really good coach. I think they failed in the end to adapt a little bit to the weather in Pärnu, and I think with some trip, they had problems when they were coming into Estonia. But okay, I also think we played really good at that second game in Estonia. Playing against Häcken, who was 1 year before that champions of Sweden, still for me the best opponent I play with. We played. There was 5 or 6 thousand people in that game. It was very weird in a way that I couldn't reach my players at all because of the noise. You cannot tell them anything basically. So it was something that new experience for me, and I realized in that level, especially when we played against Häcken, that even the tiniest mistake will be punished. We lost 6-1 in Sweden. I think we didn't deserve to lose 6-1 when I came back to that game. But every mistake that we made, they punished us. It was just showing that okay, if you want to compete on that level, you need to be almost perfect. So when I turn back, like I'm very proud of that summer what we played. It shows also that football is a very strange game. If Oscar Haim didn't score that goal, we would never come this far. But he scored, and now we speak about that summer very positively. So that's football.
When you left Levadia, were you looking for work straight away, or did you want to take a bit of time off?
No, I wanted to take a bit time off because I started my license course in Lithuania, and it was actually very suitable for me because next one year ahead at course it started in I left Levadia September 2022. Course started in beginning of November, so I wanted to take some months off. I wanted to spend it with my family and friends here. And it was I had some opportunities to come back to Serbia to work in January, but actually I kind of wanted to try to come back or to Estonia or somewhere around like Baltic states or Finland maybe. I was waiting for that opportunity, and luckily it came on in May, I think in end of the May 2023.
When Paide did give you the call, did you feel like it was the right move for you?
Even when I was in Levadia, I was hearing a lot of good things about Paide. Uh, People from Levadia, I mean, coaches were speaking good, people around were speaking good. And then when they called me, I immediately called some people that I know in Estonia, and they told me that this is the best club in Estonia to be in. And uh, after a couple of days I spent in Paide, I realized it's true and then I saw that yes, for a young coach, this is a perfect place to be, and very quickly I accepted the opportunity.
Is it what were your like initial goals? Like we often speak about Paide, especially last year. We said that if the right players, you could have like challenged for the title. Is that something you'd agree with?
Well, initial goals when I came in, first I think I came in when they were eighth placed position. The goals until the end of that season were to come back to third place. Unfortunately, we conceded the last minute goal against Levadia, and then your favorite team, Tallinna Kalev, finished third. Uh, but I agree. I agree what you're saying, but I don't think that they have still the team who can compete for the title. I think we had that team in the second part of the last season, and if you look at the table from in the third and fourth round. So last two rounds, we were the best team in the league. We won the most points. So I think when in the end, it's about the players. Um, there is this saying that in the end, players will give you or take you away the trophies and the wins, and I think it's true. We in the summer we brought Sesai, who scored 15 goals in 15 games, I think 16, something like that. It's when you have this kind of a player, yes, of course you can compete for the title. If you don't have, you cannot. Unfortunately, I think we lost. We couldn't replace him this winter. If you see that now, I mean, I say to everybody, I work the same with any player. I work the same. We are working on the same things. We are preparing the same way. But unfortunately, sometimes you have Sesai to score 15 goals and other times you don't have. So it's really good sentence what you just said. It's very simple and true. When you have good players, you can compete for the title. If you don't have them, I think if you see Levadia, what they did, like they won the title very convincingly last year. They lost only Yakovlev, but others they kept and they brought some even new guys in to lean on to that core of the team that they had. What we did, Crystal Yepihin says I left. I cannot say that Paide is stronger this year than it was in the end of the last season, and I think you will agree with that.
You can, yeah, we do monthly podcasts, and I think every time I do say that the problem has been like scoring goals, that you say missing Cisse and all of that. Is that, would you say it's hard to recruit for a team like Paide? I know there's that Gambia project, and you get players coming in from Gambia, but overall, like the pool that Levadia will have over a team like Paide, is it difficult and say frustrating for you to bring in like that quality player?
It can be because first of all, don't get me wrong, but a lot of players are first skeptical when you mention them Estonia. They all dream about some bigger countries, bigger clubs, and so on. So it's sometimes difficult to filtrate. And all of the best foreign players, unfortunately, will go first to Levadia. Uh, it's not impossible, but it's definitely difficult for a club like Paide. If you want to recruit so good, you need to have scouting network, you need to have so much things to. I think we showed, um, like in everything, I think we lacked consistency. We had really times when we recruited really good, then we had times when we made mistakes. And when I say we, I mean we all made the decisions who will come in and who will come out. So uh, okay, predominantly who will come in. I'm not deciding who will come out. It's club decision, but uh, it's not easy to bring a good player in Estonia. That's first thing, especially when to match talent with character, uh, because there is one saying that if good foreign player wants to come in Estonia, something is wrong with him, and then you eventually you see what is wrong. So it's from that point it's not easy to recruit. Then from the other side, like you said, there is this with Paide, there is this Gambian project. I think my personal opinion is that maybe they were too much leaned on that. Of course, if there is some top player, you should bring him in like Sesai. Like, I mean, they showed that there is really good players there. Sesai, Tambedu, Singate, and so on. But, for a club that wants to win, you cannot wait. And they want to win. But we brought Koren Badamosi, who cannot help us immediately. But still the club goals stay the same. So I don't think it has a high correlation between each other. So I think like with a little adaptation in recruitment, they will fight for the title. But like I said, it's very difficult to fight for the title when every transfer window you replace too many players and you lose your best players. It's not easy. But I think, like I said, for a coach, for a young coach, it's really good place to be. But of course, there is some things that you need to fight with.
What was the goal for this year? Like, Was it for a title challenge, or was it just to like get European competitions, win the cup?
Goal for this season were to be very close, at least very close to the title contender, to the title winner, sorry. So to compete for the title at least until the end, and ideally to win the title. I don't think it was realistic, but it's not on me to decide what club goals will be. I tried to do my best. Like I said, I think we lost too many important players to be a title contender. Some players are 1 year older than they were last year. Winter recruitment, I think we made some mistakes, some very clear and obvious mistakes. Martin Miller was by far the best addition to the team, and I think the only guy actually who came in this winter and made an immediate impact. So, like I said, these were the goals, but I'm not sure how realistic they are, which you can see by the last game that they played.
You, excuse me. You actually started the season relatively well, bar losing the Narva where you did your thing talking about the state of the Narva
Yeah.
pitch. Um, just how do you like? Have you seen the new Narva pitch? How do you think that looks now compared to when you last
Looks
played on it?
good. Looks really good. But can you just compare? I think there was a picture to compare the fields. Like, would you agree that it's like unbelievable difference?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we even said on our last podcast that when you're watching the SoccerNet stream, you can actually see the ball now on the new pitch, whereas before you couldn't.
Um, First, I would like to explain that what I said. I didn't say it because of me. We lost that game, and it's one game. It doesn't matter so much. But we all speak about football. I think Estonia have much bigger potential than it shows. But one of the very most important things are the pitches. How you expect on that kind of field that people who come to watch the game see actually something, to see some talented player, that maybe some club who wants to buy some player from Estonia, anybody can benefit from that. I was not speaking about myself. I was speaking about overall conditions. It's even worse when you are a coach or a player. When you're watching from the side, you're okay. What this guy is like asking for an alibi for lose? No, I was not asking for alibi. We were bad that game. We deserved to lose that game. But in combination with everything like that, you have their pitch. Okay, the weather conditions you cannot influence in the dressing rooms everywhere. It should not be something for the highest league in one country, especially for a country. I have really nice memories from Estonia, and I really hope that I will come back there. We are speaking about technologically one of the most advanced countries in the world. They are really nice country to live in. I think they have possibilities which you saw now that the Narva actually changed the pitch, and I think everybody should do that. Like also in Tartu, the SEPA field, and so on, because I think that league can be much, much, much better than that. About this league, how we started by result way, I think we started well, but I said even then to the staff that I don't like how we play. I don't think that we dominated so much like we used to last year. Even when you come back to some of the games, like we won Kuressaare 90 plus. Okay, we won Kalju 4-0, but they had red card. But I think actually we played quite good that game. Then Harju, we won last minute penalty and so on. So there were some games that could very easily go. Then we had against Pärnu, we had this red card in 40 minutes. We were with one man down, basically whole second half. So I still think that we didn't play according to the results, I would say.
um, how? What do you think? Like the biggest improvements needed in the league,
In Premium Liga,
in the Premier League? Yeah.
like I said, I think as I see clubs are working on that to replace the surfaces and the pitches, I think also Sportland Arena need to be in some period surface need to be changed. Uh, difficult, there is some obvious reasons, but we cannot speak about the budgets and so on. I think overall, if you have a good fields, I think the quality of the game will be better. I think my experience with Estonian people overall is that we are talking about very smart nation. Uh, all the Estonians that I met, or 99% of them, are really smart people who knows how to do some things. Uh, I will not speak about some bigger things in the offices of Estonian FA and so on because it's not of my concern what will happen. I can only speak about the from the coaching perspective. Uh, I think little bit what I saw is that maybe these coaching courses and so on can be a little bit different in a way to bring more foreign experience in these courses. Some kind of, I think also with the foreign coaches, I think Estonian football got better. I'm not speaking about me, I'm speaking about maybe some other people who came in, because I think it's really important influence. Because Estonian coaches are smart guys. They are smart guys and they will know how to use that. But again, we are again coming back to the same thing. It's quality of the fields, and I think quality of the fields will improve the game, which will probably bring more people to watch that games. Because sometimes even I was frustrated. We are playing against Levadia, like big game, or against Laurent, three to 400 people are coming to watch the game, and then I watched a game in Serbian football, fifth league, derby in the fifth league, like 3 to 4 thousand people are on the stands, and I think we have much more to show that we are actually showing it there in Premier League.
Do you also feel that teams need their own kind of space, like in winter months with the majority of Tallinn clubs playing at Sportland Arena? Do you feel if they had their own kind of home, so to speak, it
Yeah,
would help
yeah, it's a good question.
improve?
Of course, there is because you have feeling like that half of the league is playing in Sportland Arena. Yeah, you have feeling that it's tournament, not the league. So yeah, of course, but again, like I mentioned, then we are coming back to the budgets actually of the teams. Like, are they able to do it? Are they actually interested in doing it, and so on? It's more of the question individually for the clubs whether are they interested of doing it. For example, also Levadia, they have their own training base, but when there is artificial games, they play in Sportland Arena and so on and so on. Of course, it will be more professional. So I think to become more professional, yes, clubs need to have their own base, their own piece, their own home, and it will definitely be a big step towards even bigger professionality of the league.
Where do you see the current gap between Estonia and other European leagues?
In which areas, you mean?
Just overall.
Oof,
Yeah, like
I'm not sure that.
stat.
I think there is still a big gap. Of course, depends of which countries we are talking about. But like I said, infrastructure, this what Nathaniel said also about player clubs don't have their own base and so on and so on. And this will immediately raise the professionalism, and this is something that we need to understand. It's really important. Um, I don't know now how the people work in youth and so on, but I can see that with improving overall the work with the young players, I think in the future Estonia can get closer to the some European countries. It's not easy question to answer because I don't have all the informations to now to give you or to speak what can be actually improved. But again, we are coming back to the same question: why we are not maybe in a higher position. I think overall, I have a feeling that a lot of clubs and are in some kind of a comfort zone, and they are very they don't want or whatever to get out of it. It's not easy. It's not easy question for me to answer because I'm a coach, and I was focusing on my own club, what can go better. But if I compare it to the Europe and I put Premium League into the context, speed of the game is so much different. When we played even in Faroe Islands 2 years ago, we needed 30 minutes to adapt to the speed of the game, to the intensity of the game. I have a feeling that in Premier League there is too many pauses. Every contact is a foul. Every small situation, clubs need 20 to 30 seconds to take a throw in. It's not it's very like there is no intensity in the league. This is my biggest impression. There is no any intensity. Too many. I think now I never measured, but now I think if you start to measure like actually how much the game is played, how much the ball is in the game, and the game is active, I think you will get some very frustrated data comparing to the Europe. I think this is the biggest difference. We don't have any intensity. We are playing in much lower intensity than the other. Even these lower leagues, like if you like I said, when we went to Iceland to play against Jarnan, for me it was at one moment I thought we are playing against Borussia Dortmund. I swear. Like it was so different. They were putting so big intensity to it, and we just needed like one half to cope with it. So I think this is my biggest impression, like comparing to the other teams from Europe and other leagues.
It might have got lost in translation. You spoke to Soccernet after you left Pied, and you said 3 years in Estonia is too long.
I meant more like I needed a change,
Yeah,
uh, because like you know playing 4 times 1 year against same team is not easy. 3 years times 4 is 12 plus cup plus I needed a change. I needed a different challenge. Just not. I wasn't saying that I got enough. No, I love Estonia. I hope that I will come back to live at one point of my life there. And I think you can understand me because if you are from England and you follow Estonian football, there is something you like there. I enjoyed. Tallinn is the best place that I lived in. I really found myself there. But what I said there was what I meant when I said that is that I just need to to go some step forward to try to go to some bigger scene and to prove myself. Nothing. It was nothing insulting to anybody. I would never do that to anybody in Estonia.
Do you see yourself returning coaching in Estonia one day, or with you because you've managed Levadia, Paide, like two of like the biggest clubs? Like, would you see yourself managing like a Temeka or something or Curacao one day, or was that like a bit not at your level because you've done like the highest you can in Estonia?
Yeah, true. I I never rule out that kind of possibility. But if I come back, I think that Paide will be the only maybe possibility for that in the future. At the moment, I don't see myself coming back because it's not realistic from a lot of perspectives. But like I said, at one point, I have desire to come back to Estonia because I felt right in Tallinn. I felt like this is the place that I would like to live in. And with that in mind, I would definitely think to work again there because overall, I enjoyed. And it's not easy to come from, when you ask about Tamek and Kuressaare, if you quality of the players of the clubs, it's not easy to adapt. You were in Paide and now you need to adapt without insulting anybody, of course. But at the moment, no. But in the future, in 5, 6 years, who knows what will happen? I would like to come
is
back. That is the
is there a club in Estonia currently that excites you with how they're playing and what they're trying to achieve?
That's a good question. Uh, I need to think about it actually. I like how Harry works. I think they have a clear structure, they have clear organization of the club. When we played against them, it was clear what they want, how they want to play. I think with Victor Silva and now with Lauri, they have very clear idea, clear vision, and I know it's probably not easy to work there in the way that they don't have a big budget or big, but they try to play football, and they are trying to play modern football, and they are showing that okay, maybe we don't have the best players and the big money, but we still can do it if we have a clear plan.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Um, I think that answers questions we want to ask you. So if we move on to our quick fire questions, it's literally just we ask you some random questions, and first thing coming to your head, you fire away. So first one, let's just say you're back managing in Premier League. If you could sign any player who is currently playing in the Premier League for your club, who would it be?
Martin Miller.
Nice. Uh, who do you feel is currently the best player in the world right now?
Lamine Yamal.
Okay. What's your go-to snack?
French fries.
Nice. If you were to be transformed into an animal, what would it be and why?
Dog, because they are the best friend of a human.
Yeah, nice. If you could choose one song to play every time you walked into a room for the rest of your life, what would it be?
She's Rainbow from Rolling Stones.
Nice. Would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Past.
Cool. Uh, what would you choose as your last meal on Earth? But it can't be French fries.
Well, it's one Serbian dish called cevapi. So it's very close to kebabs, but it's very small, like 10 of it of minced meat, like rolled on. It's Serbian specialty, and definitely that. Or
Nice.
anything from the grill.
Yeah, nice. How much does the amount of traffic affect your mood?
Oof, lot. That's why I love Tallinn. There is no so big traffic, and I enjoy it. So I don't see myself living in a multi-million population city.
What is your worst habit?
My appetite, late night snacks.
Yeah. And last one, so it could be anything in Serbian, English, Estonian. What's your favorite word?
Goal.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice.
That might actually be the fastest we've gone through that. A lot of people like to sit and think about it, and we've been sat here for like 10, 15 minutes before. And
You said
it,
you said to me, answer first that comes to mind.
yeah, yeah. I think you're the first person in 4 years of doing this who's done it properly.
And actually, you asked a lot of things about the food, and I have ready answers for that.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Yeah, thank you for coming on, Ivan. It's been nice to speak to you. Say we meant to speak to you a few years back, but it never got round to it. So it's nice to finally speak to you, and yeah, good guy, and all the best for the future.
Thank you for inviting me. Sorry that you waited for me so long to come in, but better late than never. It was a pleasure talking to you. I really enjoyed it. And guys, take care, and I wish you all the best and have a good time when you go back to Estonia.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Same for
guys.
you as well, if you ever go back.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much. Thank you. Ciao.
Cheers. Ciao, ciao.